Angel, so sorry to be late with the Gemini full moon reading. We're just going to jump right into it. I have my Ascended Masters deck here. Teacher just fell away. It's giving, it's giving teacher. It's giving something having to do with a mentor. Kind of Hierophant vibes too. Hierophant / hermit. Yeah, so it's some like earth energy and something having to do with a mentor for somebody. Anyway. What I was going to say is we're starting with yes and Ganesh. So it's like, yes, Lord Ganesh is going to remove all the obstacles that are in front of you. And it could be a literal yes for somebody, like some sort of proposal, some sort of offer. Answer is yes. I have been hearing, like not this week, last week, the answer is yes. The answer is yes. And I was like, what's the question? I don't know what the question is, but the answer is yes. And after I heard it in my head and I posted about it on Facebook, I went on to... And I don't even be watching videos like this, but like videos were popping up either on my YouTube or my TikTok, even on my Facebook. And they would be saying something about the answer being yes on there. So I don't know, maybe it's tied into this too. Like this, you can do it. There's freedom. So maybe in terms of breaking away from something or accepting an offer, making some kind of change. Yes, I'll take it. Yes, capable. And then it requires you to break away from one thing, maybe to go on to something else. Freedom, detach from drama. So maybe that's what the freedom is from bullshit and people that cause it and create it. Artistic expression could be interesting ways of communicating, creative ways. It could be tied in with the drama. Could be, needing to cuss somebody out. Very possibly, I posted something about that on my Facebook the other day too. It doesn't matter how busy I get, I will stop what I'm doing and make time to cuss you the fuck out if I have to. And that's, that's on God. It's very Gemini. So again, this is the Gemini full moon is Gemini'ing. It's been Gemini'ing. That's why I'm late. We got energy healing. Focus on your strengths. Oh wow, so many upright. Take charge of the situation. Open your heart to love. And that's it. Yeah, so it may require somebody to get out of a romantic situation or even like a family situation. I'm getting like maybe your family has you held back. We got peace offering, white buffalo calf woman showing up. We know what that means. It's not showing up in any context. So unlike with the other moon reading where it showed up specifically in a feminine pile and I was able to feel from that pile that the death was going to show up in female celebrities, which it did. I don't know. This one could really appear anywhere. We have listen. If it shows up again in the spread and it's in some kind of context, then I can try to tell you who it may be. At least in terms of gender and age, maybe, or relation to you or not, that may pass away. A lot of people are really sick right now. And there's so many new viruses. My friend says she thinks she has this RSV virus. I don't even know what the RSV stands for. But I saw a bunch of kids who died of, what's that? The throat one. Strep throat. We have some delayed messages or some messages that have been, like when you start to send it or start to say something and then you hold back. You're holding back. It's like you're holding it in. It's like a burden. So you're gonna have to say this stuff. And with the Gemini full moon is the perfect time, right? With Gemini's ruler, Mercury being the ruler of communication. I got my surrender deck here to see what it is we need to leave behind, let go of. We got surrender to setting limits. It is healthy to set boundaries in relationships. Practice expressing your needs and remember that no is a complete sentence. We also have surrender to stress. Take a few deep breaths and exhale the tension you've built up in your body. Exhale the tension. Let the stress go as you come back to center. Then we have surrender the habit of people pleasing. Speak your needs and be true to yourself. Focus on your own happiness instead of always trying to make everyone else happy. I do want to say there probably will be more celebrities or something like on a national or global scale that involves, unfortunately, loss of human life. Since the card did show up without showing me exactly where, like even when it does show up among my viewers in terms of people they know and stuff like that, when it shows up sort of randomly like that, like out of context, it's still almost always about celebrities and or like something on a national or like global level, or something newsworthy, some passing like that. Anyway, we end up with an overall energy here of surrender to receiving support and love. Allow the love and support of others in, rather than trying to handle everything yourself, like that guy with the 10 of Wands was doing, trying to carry the burden himself. This can take the pressure off and simultaneously nurture you. Also, surrender low self-esteem. You deserve success, love, and abundance. Set an intention to identify and release any remnants of self-esteem. Low self-esteem, rather. Surrender your fear of intimacy. I've also been like sensing and seeing like a lot of this sort of thing. A couple weeks ago, it was, what's that disorder with the men? Erectile dysfunction. I was seeing something about erectile dysfunction, and I was like, is this really, do people really like trip over this? Like at a certain age, I mean, people are people, human beings, and as they age, right, their hormones change and stuff like that. I'm like, isn't this something you can move beyond, work with? But I think that some people that maybe are experiencing it, maybe because they're younger, maybe they feel they're not old enough yet, that it, but I felt like some people that were experiencing that specifically it had to do with erectile dysfunction, and they felt like they had to avoid their love interest or partner, because they were embarrassed about this thing, this condition. You are ready to let love in. Compassionately identify and begin to release any patterns that stop you from opening your heart. And we have surrender to rest and sleep. To prevent burnout, slow down. Honor your need for quiet time and peaceful sleep to rejuvenate your mind, body, and spirit. All right. Lastly, the secret messages of love. I want to offer you an exclusive, committed relationship, and I will do all I can to make us happy. Excuse me. Okay, maybe that's what the answer is yes is about. You are so familiar to me, and I feel like I've known you for 1,000 years. I am very attracted to you, and I can feel the chemistry between us. So the full moon in Gemini is the very last full moon of the year. Leave it to Geminis to have to show out like this. I want to travel, this is interesting too, because again, Mercury rules travel too, our ruler. I want to travel with you and to create wonderful memories. Are you up for an adventure? I damn sure am. I want to travel so bad. I saw a video ad. I am willing to put in more time and effort so that the love between us can grow. A video ad about the cruise ship Icon of the Seas, and fell in love immediately and went straight to, their purchase thing to see how much tickets were and if I could get some. And the sailing wasn't until 2024. And I was like, damn, I want to buy these now, but I wish I knew if I was going to have a man in 2024, I'd buy him a ticket. I'd buy my ticket now before they sell out. That's how bad I want to go. So, I mean, instead I'm going to be going with my sister and her daughter and husband and my kids, I guess. Because I still need to go on Icon of the Seas. But, yeah, if I had a man, I will get him a ticket as well. I just don't. So, I don't know if I'm going to have one in 2024 or not. Well, that same message is back. I'm willing to put in more time and effort so that the love between us can grow. All right, so I took those away, and I'm going to take these and these as well. No, keep these. I guess I could leave these nearby too, because we'll use those for clarification, and we'll include these in the spread. So we will do a cross for this reading. This is the recent past here. Near future. The masculine, higher self. The feminine. I think I had them in the reverse order last time. Masculine, lower self. The feminine. Here we have the heart of the matter. Here we have a love-specific placement. Oh, you know what I did not do? The placement for it's going to take us into the next major moon cycle, which would be the new moon in Capricorn. All right, our overall energy, as a reminder, is listen. Which is also tied to communication, the energy of Mercury and Gemini. I'm going to add, as I mentioned, a surrender card. See what needs to be surrendered with each of these placements. Overall energy here, as a reminder, is surrender to receiving support and love. And our overall energy on the deck we're going to use for clarification, the traditional Rider-Waite deck, is the Eight of Wands in reverse. And it mostly was coming across as something unsaid, like something that somebody needs to let go of. And then here we have, right behind it, the Ten of Wands. Speaking of the Eight of Wands and the Ten of Wands, I've also, even when I was shuffling by myself in the vans, been seeing a lot of wands. And I'm like, this is the Gemini reading. I wonder if it's because Mars is currently located in Gemini. Mars, the ruler of the signs of Aries and Scorpio in part 2, the ancient ruler of the sign of Scorpio, the planet of action and aggression, is representative of fire with that Aries. Okay, recent past. Artistic expression. So somebody could have been trying to think of a way to communicate. Again, maybe even going as far as typing out a text, or, you know, I don't know, Geminis do that, they can prepare a whole speech in their head and then not actually say it. You know what I mean? Somebody has been trying to come up with a way to communicate, a creative way. And for somebody, you may have had some sort of artistic debut or realization about yourself, like something that you're gifted at or creative. I'm also getting too. But it's mostly having to do with communication, and it's partnered here with trust and Vishnu, as well as clear and shield your energy. So maybe before you go ahead and speak, maybe you do need to clear out any negative energy, any negative thoughts about yourself, any low self-esteem, any negative thoughts about the other person, any feelings of regret or guilt or blame or the inability to forgive. Let all of that go, and trust that everything will be okay, one way or another, that you feel, you can be confident in going ahead and communicating, and then you say what you have to say. And that's it. The surrender card says, surrender to setting limits. So maybe what you have to say is, listen, I got to put up some boundaries with you because it's getting out of hand, That could be what you have to do. It is healthy to set boundaries in relationships. Practice expressing. Okay, it's not a mistake that it's showing up here with the artistic expression. This person that you have to speak to, it may not be a love interest. A lot of times people automatically go to that, but it could be a family member, it could be a friend that somebody's getting ahead of themselves, taking too many liberties, it could be your boss. Sometimes they get a little too friendly. It's like, or your coworkers. You're not my friends. We work together. You know what I'm saying? In some cases they're your friends, but a lot of the time people that you work with are not your friends. Even if they pretend to be. In any case, you're having to put up boundaries with somebody that maybe is used to you saying yes to them. Practice expressing your needs, and remember that no is a complete sentence. So even though we started out with yes, and for somebody the answer is yes, and I think for us in general, in terms of obstacles that have been in front of us, the answer is yes. Yes, from Ganesha, he's going to remove them. Yes, I'm leading you to abundance from him. But in terms of other people, our interactions with them, we have the right to say no. And you could say just no. That's a complete sentence. You don't have to explain why the answer is no. You don't have to tell people your business. All of that's going to be up to you. And if we're really getting into the two Gemini, full moon Gemini'ing, maybe we're not supposed to tell people our business, because especially if we see the high priestess show up in this reading, then take that as keep stuff to yourself, right? So that was the recent past, which possibly hasn't happened yet. The way that I do my readings, so it's the full moon, so it's from the 7th, even though I'm doing it here today on the 9th, from the 7th to the new moon in Capricorn. So even next week could be the recent past in terms of the timing of the reading itself. Of course, anybody who watches it at any time, it can be timeless as well, but I'm setting the intention, the parameters for our purposes right now around this full moon in Gemini. Near future, open your heart to love. My house is full. I guess you can hear the dog. I didn't even know there was a dog here, but I've heard a lot of voices. My kids have a lot of friends. What can I say? And my house has always been open. I've always been the cool mom. You know what I mean? Anyway, open your heart to love. That's what I'm doing right now. And this is definitely giving me the Earth, the Virgo energy. Maybe something even having to do with a Leo Virgo cuspian with this lion here, although there were other animals here too. That just really stood out to me. But all the trees and the grass, the foliage and stuff behind Jesus, who, if you watch me, I believe is a Virgo anyway, or was a Virgo. So there's that. The teacher is back. I also said that was giving me Hermit and Hierophant feels. So that's more earth energy, potentially Virgo again, as well as that of Taurus. And I said it had something to do with a mentor, possibly. A lot of people do look to Jesus for answers, or maybe it has to do with you looking to somebody else for answers, for guidance in opening your heart. Part of the guidance that we're receiving now is to nurture yourself. We have Mary here. Here's the Gemini energy with Mary. And what you are, look, more earth in this picture too. So much foliage here. Surrender to your soul's path. Your life's journey has been perfectly designed for your soul's growth. Embrace every lesson and every moment. And your soul's path may involve an earth sign. Either yourself or somebody else that's perhaps going to be on the journey with you is an earth sign. Okay. A message to the masculine from his higher self. We have balance, career, and home life. Right, you're doing too much of one or the other, and especially these earth signs, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn, tend to work very hard and put a lot of their energy into work. Don't let your home life, your relationships, even your relationship with yourself, like that nurturing, don't let those things suffer because you're putting all your effort into work. And that's not to say that your work ethic isn't admirable, because you guys rule in that area, but you got to find balance. That's from Isis. More Gemini energy coming through. Then we have follow your heart. All right, masculine. Follow your heart. You was that song from SWV a long time ago. Use your heart and not your eyes. Was it? Use your heart and not your heart. I don't know why that just came to me. I haven't heard that song in I don't know how long. But that's for you, masculine. I don't sing. I used to sing, but I'm a 9/11 survivor, so my throat got all messed up. But I was actually on the soundtrack of the movie The Wiz with Michael Jackson, particularly in the song about The Wiz. That song, he's the Wiz and he lives. And I was on that one. Anyway, we got yoga here. And this could be a way for you to sort of commune with yourself and help you to find that balance. In terms of balancing your own energy, which may help you to figure out how to balance your home and work life and any other areas of your life that are, out of balance. And then we have surrender to silence, which is also something that could be helpful with the yoga and vice versa. Yoga, meditation kind of go hand in hand a lot of the time. Oh, look, it's talking about meditation. So it's perfect. It's perfect. In quiet meditation or contemplation, let go and into the stillness within. Silence can heal and replenish you, masculine. Feminine higher self. Message to the feminine. We got freedom. It's freedom. Feminine, it's time for you to get away from something. And look at this. Every single one of these cards has what looks to be a full moon in them. And it's brown also. That could be significant for somebody, the color brown. But we have freedom, right, and you are seeing the situation accurately. You could be writing your ticket. What does that mean? I heard writing your ticket. I don't know what writing your ticket means, but I just heard that. Your ticket to freedom, but I don't know what that means, so still. But in any case, I think this is very significant. These 3 full moons, I'm not getting exactly what they're telling us, but full moons we know are about endings. They're also about extremely strong intuition. So you got it 3 times over. Or we got it 3 times over, feminine. So our higher self wants us to pay very close attention to our intuition. There may be some things that we want to literally write down. We're also seeing these things accurately. So talking about that intuition, you're seeing some stuff and you may normally question yourself or sometimes question yourself and not be sure, am I understanding this right? Is that what that synchronicity means? Is that what that sign means or whatever? Am I seeing this correctly? Yes. For some of us, there's a direct correlation between this writing and this freedom, and it's not coming all the way through. Surrender your need to always be right, though, feminine. Maybe that's what we've been doing. And this woman is here depicted with a masculine. She's got the red hair. You know how I feel about that. That is the light version, is representative of the light version of the divine, like the divine feminine, as opposed to the dark feminine. Give others the gift of letting them be right. By yielding, not being rigid, this will help you to resolve conflicts and to improve your relationships. And this is really like coming for the Queen of Swords neck. You know what I'm saying? This is a Gemini reading, so it's swords. It's the Queen of Swords, right? We can be rigid, us air signs, and particularly us we air sign females can be seen as sort of like stoic and cold and rigid and like mean even and like know-it-alls, because we are, especially like Geminis are known for intelligence. I mean, Mercury is about logic, so yeah, we could be seen as this person that has to be right. And if you have that, even if you're not an air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, this is a good time for us feminine if in our dealings, maybe in our communication, to soften up a bit. The moon is also very feminine. Moon is the representation of feminine energy, while the sun is more masculine. Because that can also be a message there too, again, about softening up, getting in touch with that light feminine side, that light worker feminine side, as opposed to the dark feminine. Surrender your Lilith energy. You know what I mean? Masculine, lower self. Masculine, you can do it. There's something that you're being, this is a niggle. I think it's called niggle, like a nudge, to do, and encouraged to do, inspired to do, guided to do, and you can do it. For some, it's going to be cutting away a relationship. It doesn't have to be love again. It can be something with friends, family, work, quitting your job, all this kind of stuff. But cutting yourself out, and you can do it. Like, you've been thinking about it, you've been guided to do it, you want to do it, and you can. You don't have to, but you may need to meditate. So your higher self and your lower self, as above, so below, both are telling you to meditate and to, like, get in touch with yourself, to look for balance. We have Buddha here. And so for some, that may be very significant. He's surrounded by this foliage too. So the earth energy is coming through heavy. Oh, well, it's a full moon in Mercury. In Gemini. However, Gemini is, like I've been saying, ruled by Mercury. Mercury also rules Virgo. Maybe that's what it's about. A lot of earth coming through. Speaking of earth, this is like the male version of like a Venus, like an Empress. The Green Man. He's about abundance and love and sex and money. Retreat into nature with the Green Man. So a lot of earth energy coming through again. But with that meditation and you can do it, whatever it is you're going after, this thing is going to lead to some sort of increase in your abundance. And wow, I love how my cards are always like so well matched. Look at what the surrender card is. Surrender to success. Like I said, you're going to come into some major abundance here. It could have something to do with a job, or could have to do with love. Any kind of abundance. But you're going to be successful, whatever it is. You are ready to experience abundance. Don't look back at the previous roadblocks or difficulties. Leap into an exciting new world of possibilities. Okay. Feminine's lower self. Find the blessing in your current situation. Something is changing. Something is happening. It may seem like something that you wish would not happen, don't like happening. It's stressful for you that it's happening. But there's something good in the situation. It could involve losing a friend. And I don't mean, loss of life in this sentence. I mean, like, a friendship ending, a romantic relationship ending, you having to cut off a family member, or to put up those boundaries. Remember, we were guided to put up boundaries. So, I mean, having to fall back can be sort of painful, maybe, but there's a blessing in the situation. And the Ascended Masters say, let it go. That's what Kuan Yin's message is. She's very Venus and Isis and stuff too. It's like the same story over and over about the Virgin. This is a virgin that emerged from a lotus flower. We have Go Now as well from Serapis Bay. That ambulance, the siren. It's like an alarm. Go now. And isn't it funny how it showed up with the Go Now card? It's like, hurry, hurry. This could be tied into the freedom for somebody too. Like the situation is something that you need to get out of, and not spend any more time in at all. And we have surrender to trust. Like trusting the guidance that you've been given, that it's time, whatever the situation is. Trust yourself and your decisions. Don't be swayed by other people's strong opinions about what to do. Take action and be confident that you have chosen the right path. The heart of the matter, we have Crystals. So this is a good time to work with crystals. Health and healing. And that may be what we're using the crystals for. You may want to get some green crystals. Maybe that's why all this earth is showing up. They can be very helpful in the areas of healing. You see, I wear my malachite everywhere I go, like every day. It's like one of my favorite stones. It's copper, basically. Even though it's like copper in its rock form. And it could be a situation with one's mother, wife, sister, or daughter, a feminine energy with which you need to heal something, to heal a relationship. It could be your own inner feminine energy as well. And for that, you may also want to use crystals. Or if there's something going on with someone's health, mother, wife, sister, daughter, this is something that we can work on, that we can pray for. Even if it seems like a dire situation, this is something that we can very likely help them to heal from. And what is the surrender message? Surrender the habit of people pleasing. So somebody may have that going on with a mother, wife, sister, daughter, and that may be what you have to heal in your relationship with them. Like sometimes I'm going to say no. And wasn't that the feminine's message before? That no was a complete sentence? Oh no, that was everybody's message. That's the one we started with. It's right here. No is a complete sentence. That was the recent past. So it could be tied in with this heart of the matter and the people pleasing. Like sometimes you have to say no to people. Speak your needs and be true to yourself. Focus on your own happiness instead of always trying to make everyone else happy. That can be a Gemini thing too. As mean as we supposedly are, Gemini's like known as to be like the life of the party, everyone's friend. Everybody wants the friend everybody wants, and stuff like that. And so we can also be very, especially the females, very mature, like for our age, like always, and be the one that takes care of our siblings, even if we're not the oldest, like all kind of stuff like that. And so there can come a time where you need to say, okay, like let me check for me instead of everybody else. Specific to love, what is the message? Persistence. All right, don't give up. If you've been trying to work on a relationship, heal a relationship, find your way back to a relationship, find your way to a relationship, period. You're single, you haven't met anybody, you're like, what's going on? Be persistent, continue. You will meet somebody. We have the yes again. If there's a proposal, some sort of commitment being offered, some sort of offer that's being taken, made with somebody. There had been some obstacles there before. Ganesh is going to help you to lift them out of your way. And the answer is yes. Take charge of this situation. So like you got to take action here if you want to bring it around. And you got to surrender to non-action. Now is the time, it says now is the time to be still and not act. Simply breathe and focus on your own power and let others come to you. So, but that can't be for both people. That can't go both ways. Either you're the person that's sitting and waiting or you're the others that are coming to you. And it looks like, again, take charge of this situation. This is Moses, so maybe specifically male or masculine energy is supposed to be the one who takes charge of the situation and is persistent as well, because you have Lu here and you have a female here on this one. That's why I'm saying I'm not being a sexist. I'm just looking at the pictures. The one that's supposed to be in non-action is the feminine. And the energy with which we are going into the next major moon cycle, it is more of this earth. It is purification and white Tara. So something's been cleansed by the time the new moon in Capricorn comes around. We've gotten our priorities in order, or we will be getting our priorities in order during that next phase, is what King Solomon says. And energy healing is also going to, again, be necessary and needed. And because it's time for complete and utter healing. So that's why we're going to leave on that note. We're going to end the year going to, like I said, Capricorn, going to the new year into 2023 with this purified energy and really seeking to heal ourselves in a complete way, like not half stepping. Open fully to the loving, compassionate forces of the universe that support your physical, emotional, and spiritual healing. And thankfully that white buffalo didn't come back. And so I do think that, at least for the most part, but and probably just at all, it won't be like in your house that it shows up. It'll be on TV. You'll see it, or it's gonna be like I said, like a celebrity or something else that happens. I want to say a bombing. I don't want to say a bombing, but that's what was wanting to come to my mouth. I started to say like a bombing or something, so maybe that's what it's about. I didn't do any clarifications of anything. Did I need to? I don't think I needed to. I mean, we can play around with some cards though, and just look for fun. Recent past, 10 of Cups in reverse. So again, this may be setting boundaries, not just setting boundaries, but setting boundaries with close friends and or family members. And that leaves 10 of Cups in reverse because somebody's going to feel some kind of way. And you know what? Oh, well, they'll get over it. The near future with our soul's path and nurturing ourselves. What's the other message here? And opening our heart to love. How appropriate is this? The King of Cups upright. Talk about opening your heart to love. The masculine's higher self. We got the Devil upright. You really need to, do that meditation, get in balance. You're just off. Clear your thoughts. And follow your heart. If you're feeling tied to something, maybe you feeling tied and bound to what other people expect of you or want of you or what society dictates, let go of that. Release whatever that is and any ego or fear that's attached to it, and instead follow your heart. Surrender to silence and meditate so that you can figure out what your next steps are. How you're going to free yourself from this devil energy. Devil represents the sign of Capricorn, by the way, so that could be some of the earth energy that I've been seeing. Feminine, got the 10 of Pentacles in reverse. You want to have a nice, happy, long-term relationship with another person, and maybe romantic. The way to do that is by surrendering your need to be right and seeking your freedom in a situation. This could have to do with actual divorce for somebody with this right. Maybe it's the papers. And you are seeing the situation accurately. But 10 of Pentacles is about stability, long-term relationships, security. So that's your path to that, if that's what you want. Masculine lower self. We got the 7 of Pentacles, which is a card of patience. Can also be a card of like you've done what you need to do in order for this to happen for you now. So I think that's probably the more likely, right? Because this was the one about the abundance and the success. So you've already put in those efforts for this particular thing. You've already done what you need to do in order to manifest this situation, and again, you can do it. So now the next step is taking whatever action, whatever it is you can do that you're supposed to do. Whatever you can do, it represents in your life that's going to be successful. Just get ready to reap those rewards, basically. Feminine lower self. We got the 5 of Wands in reverse. Stop. This is about ending the fighting, maybe having a difficult conversation. But stop fighting, whatever. Instead, maybe surrender to trust. And if you have been fighting, bickering to somebody, and you have to let them go, which is what I talked about before, and you have to go now and get out of the situation, that's fine too. Find the blessing in that relationship having ended. 5 of Wands. Surrender to trust goes here. Heart of the matter. Nine of Swords in reverse. So somebody's letting go of like this anxiety and worry, and it's probably constantly worrying about other people and what they're going to think, and you know, worrying about the fact that you really rather be doing something else. And it may be mother, wife, sister, daughter that it is you're always trying to, you know, combat. And for the masculine specifically, that may be who has you tied up. Could be your mom, what she expects of you. Even if you're a grown man, you know, you might feel like you can't disappoint her or whatever. Wife, maybe you're tied to your wife. Maybe you feel chained to her. The love is gone, and you should be following your heart somewhere else. Sister, daughter, same thing. Maybe you believe that they have a particular expectation of you, and so that you're not allowed to be your true self and to follow, you know, what your heart and your soul is telling you to do, and that's not true. So letting that go will also help you to release anxiety, and this also goes hand in hand with, again, the yoga, the meditation. Clearing your energy is going to help you to release that anxiety and that fear that's there. Love specifically. Two of Pentacles in reverse. So somebody's making a decision. And again, it's probably the masculine making a decision to take some sort of action. Well, feminine, we could be making a decision not to take action, to wait for him to show up. And somebody's deciding not to juggle. Somebody's deciding to look for balance. Somebody's deciding that they've picked one of two people. It could be a few things that this card means, depending. And lastly, the energy with which we are moving into the next moon. This is Six of Pentacles. So this is, you know, universe shining down on us. This is blessings, you know, coming from heaven. Could be in the form of another, you know, coming through another person, like an earth angel. But this is whatever we need, right on time, when we need it, showing up. And this is also balance. And somebody who had previously been breadcrumbing you, as they say, like giving you just enough to keep you interested, but not really making any kind of real commitment to you, or being fully honest with you and stuff like that, and into that sort of thing as well. I'm glad I looked at some cards there. All right, so now the secret messages of love. We'll start with this placement, recent past. Let's get to know each other better. Things are moving too fast. Near future. I know you're sad, but I will make things right between us. Could be the King of Cups that's saying that. Maybe specifically Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. Masculine's higher self. I wear a false self mask. There it is right there, that devil. And I pretend not to care because I don't want you to see how vulnerable I really am. Remember I said he might be afraid of letting people know exactly who he is. And so that's what the anxiety is about. So masculine, you got to, again, follow your heart and be yourself. That's the person we want to see. That's who the feminine wants to see. And believe it or not, that's who mother, wife, sister, daughter wants to see, even if they don't realize it. When you're yourself, I mean, when we're all ourselves and we're all living in truth, the world is so much more harmonious. It just is. Feminine's higher self. Message from Feminine's higher self. Nothing can break the bond of love between us. All of me loves all of you. Masculine lower self. I stay awake thinking about you, and I fall asleep dreaming about you. You are always in my thoughts. You are always on my mind. So if you thought he wasn't, or if you thought if you thought he didn't have you on his mind, you were wrong. Feminine's higher self. Lower self. You have charmed my life in so many ways. I want to give you a gift because you mean so much to me. Well, it is Christmas time. Heart of the matter. Okay, this might be why somebody is feeling swordsy. It's complicated, but I still have feelings for my ex. I'm not ready to release this attachment. Let's take another one for that, because that can't be everybody. Oh, maybe it is. Well, for somebody that's saying it's over completely. The flame has burned out. Remember I said divorce, so that could be what this is too. Flame has burned out, and I am no longer moved by us. Somebody's over it. We'll do one more. Receiving a text message from you always brightens my day. So we got one of each potential scenario. That one is they're happy with you. Flame is burned out, is it's over, and that's probably for the relationships that are splitting up. And the other ones, maybe with somebody slowing around and you're wondering like where they are and why they haven't taken action. Remember, so they're maybe juggling two different people. That could be what that is. It's complicated, but I have feelings for my ex still. The love specific placement. I have shed tears over us. You were the only one who could break down the wall that I put up around my heart. So as far as like the mask showing, if anybody ever saw anything beneath the mask, if anybody ever saw any vulnerability out of him, it was you. He's been completely fake with the other people is what he's saying. And last but not least, the energy with which we are going into the other moon. I pushed you away because I felt smothered and unworthy of your love. There was imbalance. 6 of Pentacles. I felt unworthy of your love, kindness, and affection. So he's going to work on healing that. And I think that pile was about healing, actually, right? I said we're going into the new moon with healing. Yes, surrender to complete healing. So that's what's going to happen there. I hope you guys have enjoyed this full moon in Gemini reading. Again, I am sorry that I was late with it. Please do like, share, subscribe, and comment. I do appreciate it. Namaste.